So it doesn't matter how successful we was yesterday. It's all about how we want to be successful, even more successful tomorrow, right? That's just it. So let's get into my theory of focus, right? Like I said, I'm always been a dreamer, right? And for me, before I get to focus, let me get to dream. Always being a dreamer. And when I think about dreaming, it's like, all right, dreaming, that's cliche, right? But what happens when the dream is over, right? What happens when you wake up? What happens when you say, you know what, I want a yacht? And then when you start applying pressure and maybe inquiring or thinking that you need a financial application to get this job, what happens when the bank say decline, your application is declined? You can't get this job. You're not ready. So again, write this down. Dream. DREAM. The D stands for be determined to realize, right? E, everything that's needed to achieve massive success, right? So like I said, dreaming is all cute. It's very similar to the dream is sold free, but the hustle is sold separately. That's real life facts, right? So determining what's needed to accomplish that, right? So once we do that, once we determine, okay, I need to repair my credit, or you know what, I need to get a job, because in order to get approved for this job, or in order to get approved for this mortgage, right, I need to show on paper, not just tax forms, not just pay stubs. I need to show actual income flow throughout my account, right? So that's one thing, right? So you determine you need credit repair, right? But next, ask yourself, how are you gonna accomplish it, right? How are you gonna accomplish it? So now, yeah, you're gonna accomplish these goals, but how, right? How are we gonna do it? Is it gonna take you 6 years, right? Because without focus and strategy and implementing the strategy, it's going to take you a very long time. But if you put your mind to it, right? If you put your mind to it massively and implement massive focus on anything you're doing in life, you're going to accomplish it, right? I just got a money machine. When I say I was so excited, right? I was so excited for this money machine because literally, and I'm going to travel back a little bit. I remember one of my dreams was to open up my child care center. And I told my brother, like, one day, bro, I'm going to open up my child care center, right? I'm going to open up my child care center. And the moment I called bro and I said, bro, I got license, I got the building, it's go time. He said, sis, you're going to need a money machine. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I'll be in a money machine. So I've been in the child care business literally for roughly, hold on. I'm going to say roughly 8 years. So I've been wanting a money machine for about 8 years now. Now I have it. But let me tell you this. I got the money machine, right? 8 years later, right? But check this out. It wasn't until I applied extreme focus on how I was going to get it. You ready for this? I applied extreme focus on how I was going to get it. I focused on the one thing I wanted, and I applied a strategy, and I had faith and courage to say, this is what I want. So let me tell you how I got it. So I'm not sure you know, every Friday I talk to my dreamers. For me, dreaming, just like we on here, we talking this Friday night. You could be at the bar. You could be getting dressed on your way to the bar, but that's fine. But you could be doing pre-gaming, but you talking to me. You talking about me, how we say fuck love and how we focus on our business. So that's cool. So I have a Dream Talk community, right? And what we do is we talk on Friday night at 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock. And we just talk about our dreams and we strategize and we network via Zoom. Super dope. If you're interested in joining, DM me Dream and then I'll tap you in. No problem. So we talk on Friday nights, right? So now we built this dope community. We have, different type of business owners in the community, striving, successful, whatever. And one of the participants, right, she said, all right, it's Christmas time. What we doing? Let's do a Pollyanna. And I'm like, that's dope. That's what's up. Let's do it. She was like, but how about we do it and give gifts for our businesses? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm all for that, because you know me, if you don't know, it's always business about me, okay? It's always business. So we put it in motion. She put it in motion. She took full, ownership of the whole thing. She put it together. She created and centralized communication or whatever, right? And when it came down to me picking what I wanted, We had to choose 3 things, right? I put on there, I want a money machine. And that's it. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted, right? So what happened was I allowed myself, first of all, I paid attention, right, to what I wanted. Paid attention to what I wanted. I had faith and courage that I'm going to get it. And then I used strategy, right? I used strategy. Before I, solidified that's what I wanted. I wanted to do my research. Because we used like this data, like this platform that, you get order online from. So I said, okay, let me see if it's in here. And I put it into the search engine, money machine, and it came up. It was in our budget, right? So I did my research. I had my focus. I finally realized, like, you know what? Let me figure this out. And that's what I did. Had I not done that, right? If I didn't do the preliminary research, right, to see if it was even possible, if it fit into our room, if the concept, if the product was going to fit into our room, I would have been shooting a blank, right? But because of that, I put it in there. So I was so hyped. Finally met. Didn't even. Actually, I'm lying. Let me back up. I got an email too that the product was sold out. I was like, dang, I ain't gonna get my money machine. But I was too busy, and I never wanted to go revamp, implement a another option, because I had no interest in nothing else, to be honest, right? So long story short, how much was it? I don't know. So our limit was $50. That was the price. So I'm not sure, because again, the item was sold out. So she had to go get it from somewhere else. She had to. But because I had the extreme focus, and people, they pay attention. People pay attention. And obviously we're in the same group together. We like-minded individuals. We just vibing. So at the end of the day, we want to give what we want to get, right? We want to give others what they want to have, right? Point blank, period. So again, when you in that environment, and when you're applying focus, and you very strategic and laser focused on what you want, I guarantee you're going to get it, right? I guarantee you're going to get it. So let me get into my theory, the 5 steps, right? Write this down. Write down the word focus, right? It's simple. 5 steps to leveling up. We're going to call it, for the sake of this month, we're going to call it, there's 5 steps to you loving harder. You're going to love yourself harder. You're going to love your business harder. And as a result from that, the money going to just be crazy, right? The money just going to be crazier. Your family going to be happier. Your wife going to be happier. Your husband will be happier. Ultimately, you're going to be happier, right? You're going to be happy. One of the things, before I get into that, and I'm getting there, bear with me. We only got about 10 minutes because we're going to get off here, because we're extremely focused and everybody has something to do. But before I get out, right, one of the things that I realized about myself, right, is I have to accomplish something. When I have 50 tasks to complete, that's cool. But if I don't accomplish what I desire to accomplish, if I feel like I'm being placid or stagnant and not achieving, I get headaches, right? I'm gonna just say it for what it is. It's probably a certain level of depression, right? So for me, and the love language for myself is I have to strive, period. I have to strive. It doesn't matter if I'm packing lunch for the children, or I need to go buy my children some new clothes for the wintertime. But most importantly, when we keep it business, right? We keep it in business. I have to strive. And not only do I have to strive, I have to achieve, right? I have to achieve. If I don't achieve, I'm telling you, it ain't right. So that's how I love me, right? That's how I love me. But if I didn't focus and I didn't pay attention to what's going on, right? I'll still be getting these headaches. I'll still be thinking that, okay, life is giving me a headache. No. Identify your formula. Identify what's important to you the same way you identify, you like what your girl do when you feeling whatever. You like what your man do to make you happy. Focus on, what do you like to do for yourself? What's necessary for you to make yourself happy, right? And for me, it's business success. So focus, right? F, find what makes you happy, right? I need you to find what makes you happy. Think about it. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm talking about business, right? What do you need to do for yourself to make yourself happy, right? And I'm talking about for you to make that mental shift, right? For you to make that mental shift For you to get in a place where you feeling like, all right, you woke up in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, all right, I'm ready to get to it. All right, let me put my hoodie on and put my jeans on. Let me go how back in the day you used to hit the block, right? Or let me go get my hair done. What is it that you need to do to get there? One thing that I do before I go to sleep at night, and it's not every night because I'm not perfect, but my most productive days is when the night before, I spend some time, even if I'm just laying in the bed, right? Even if I'm just laying in the bed, closing my eyes on my way to sleep, just thinking about just 3 things that you want to accomplish during the day, right? Of the next day. So the night before, just think about, write it down, put it in your notes, make a voice note, whatever makes you happy, right? Whatever works for you. Just write down 3 things that you need to do. If you notice, you go back on my stories, I believe I posted as well, all week long, right? A community that I'm in, we was challenged to post at least 3 things each day, either post it or make a video about 3 things that we wanted to accomplish, right? Because once you write it down, you can think it, but once you write it, right? Write it, type it, speak it. Once you put it into the universe, it just hit different. And then once you put it out there, the people that love you, they want to hold you accountable. I couldn't believe the feedback that I got when I was doing it this week. I was posting, oh, I'm going to create this this event at my content studio, and I said I'm going to set the date. And then I said I'm going to make the flyer. People in my DM was like, all right, what's the date? The next day, what's the date? I'm like, oh, okay, that's what's up. So that really, really helped me. That really, really helped me, right? That really, really helped me. So what is it that you need to do to prepare your mind for the next day? Right? What you need to do? Write them 3 things down the night before. Next, organize. Organize your task. Organize your thoughts, right? Even if it's not just the task or the thoughts, right? Either way, organize it. So, for example, if you know, okay, let's say one thing, I need to go downtown to apply for LNI to open up my child care center, right? And the second thing is, oh, I need to go to Target to buy first aid kits, right, for the child care center. And then the third thing, oh, I want to go to the gym. So organize the activity. If you know you're going to walk past the gym first, go to the gym first. Then you know Target is next, go to Target second. And then you go downtown, right? It sounds crazy, but when I say every day, I got to remind myself throughout the day, it's like, wait a minute, Kim, that don't make sense. Go here first, go there first. Then the husband call. He be like, oh, can you do it? I'm like, no, I can't do that. Why you can't do it? Because I'm in this area, and if I go there in that area, now I'm deviating from my schedule, right? You'll be surprised how important it is for you to focus on what you're doing, right? Focus on what you're doing. Focus on staying organized throughout the day. I'm telling you. And I'm going to challenge you, right? I'm going to challenge you. I'm doing it again next week, and I'm doing it publicly. I'm going to challenge you to do it with me, right? Do it with me and tag me, right? Do it with me and tag me. And we can, if we're not too busy, because we got to stay focused, but if we're not too busy, we can converse and we can talk about this throughout the day. You know what I mean? You just never know what comes out of it, right? C, critique. Critique yourself, right? Again, we so focused on critiquing other people. It's like, okay, you wrote down 3 things that you need to do today, right? And then I organize the task, right? Based off of what makes sense, conveniency, proximity, right? Financially. But then, are you critiquing yourself? Are you asking yourself, do that make sense? And what are you really doing? Because sometimes we do these things, right? That's not doing nothing. It's called busy work. So when you write down these things, you identify these tasks that you need to accomplish, right? You want to do stuff that's going to move the needle, right? So let me give you an example. If you know you want to sell 100 items, within the next, 10 days, right? And then you say, okay, now I'm going to make flyers to sell them. Okay, but how are you going to itemize the activity? How are you going to make sure you're selling at least a maximum 10 each day? You know what I mean? So critique yourself and just apply extreme strategy, right? And I guarantee you it's going to it's just going to make so much sense. But you can't just think it. You can't just think it. You can't just see it. You have to do it. And you have to fail while you're doing it. You have to fail while you're doing it. Because I'm telling you, the real bag is in the failure. The real bag is in the lessons. The real bag is literally, oh my God, that hurt it. You know what I mean? Because when you remember how it hurt, you're going to remember that you don't want to feel it again. You're going to remember that you don't want to feel it again. Right? And then you understand the process. Right? So let's go back to the L&I example. Don't just put on the calendar that you're going to L&I. Okay, you're going to L&I, but what do you need to take with you? You're going to L&I to apply for zoning, right? But do you have your renter's license? Did you apply for your EIN? Did you apply for your Philadelphia tax account? Did you take your ID, right? Understand what's needed. Understand what's the method to the madness, right? Because there's always a method to the madness. Understand what you're doing so you're moving. You're not just moving. You're moving, but you're executing, right? You're moving because every day next week, if you identify 3 things you want to do, you got 15 things to do. So if you don't apply pressure, you don't focus on what needs to do, if you don't understand what's required, if you don't focus on what's required to give yourself that hard check, not the soft check, the hard check. You know what I'm talking about? That one that you go, you put that hard check on it, right? And then don't mess around. You see what I did? I went right back on the gram. And I'm going to post it again. I put the strike through. It was a strike through for me, okay? I strike through the accomplishments, right? So understand what's needed to accomplish the goal. Once you do that, just select yourself. Just select accomplishment, right? Because we'll write down things, right? We'll do this research. We'll critique ourselves. We'll understand the process, but let's go get it done. So instead of selecting procrastination, I'm going to challenge you to select execution this week, right? I'm going to challenge you to select execution this week. I already told you anything, and it's always been business for me. For me, life is business, right? Everything in life is a business. Church, school, daycare, your job, the store, the poppy store that you might go into, the Chinese store, everything around you is business. Tell me one thing that exists in life that's not a business. Life is business. So you already selected to have your own. So every day you should be looking at a new win. Every day you should be looking at a new accomplishment. Every day you should be looking at something. I don't care if it's accomplishment or a failure. Because when we fail, we already know. We already know the failure is the real bad, right? It's the real bad. Because everybody can't teach and don't teach. They don't want to teach. They don't even want to talk about how they fail, right? They don't even want to talk about it. So let alone they don't want to talk about it, they don't know how to talk about it. They don't talk about it, and they just not teaching it, right? Everybody want to, have this image that, okay, they so successful and they don't go through anything and things like that, but that's not even possible, right? So that's my 5 simple steps. I'm ready to post and invite other people to do it with me. But something told me, the Spirit told me, no, just focus on you. Just focus on you this week. Don't involve nobody, because once you start involving other people, right, you can get distracted. And distractions could be good as well, right? Somebody reach out to me, oh, I want you to help me start this business. And I'm like, okay, I'm not this week. That's not my focus. So I made that mental shift to, one, identify the possibilities of me being distracted. And I said no. I kept it about me, right? I kept it about me, and I'm glad I did, because I was able to see the theory that was taught to me. I put the work in, and I know it worked. So now I'm bringing it to you, and now I'm inviting you to do it with me next week. Feel free to DM me Focus. I am extremely excited to host a absolute free webinar, right? Absolute free webinar. And the focus on that is going to be branding and strategy, right? Because once you get focused, now you got mental clarification. Now you got accomplishments. Now you got your LNI certificate. Now you got your daycare open, or you're one step further than you was last week. I'm telling you. So now you get that focus. Now I'm gonna bring you a little closer with me. I'm gonna bring you a little closer, right? I'm gonna bring you a little closer. I'm gonna invite you to my absolute free webinar Monday, and it's gonna be on branding and strategy. Because now you got the focus, now you got the ideal, right? That's cool. But what's your brand, right? What is a brand? How do you brand yourself, right? We're not even going to get to the marketing part yet. We're not even going to get to the marketing part yet because you got to get dressed first before you go outside. That's how we're going to relate that. You got to put some clothes on first before you go outside. So we're not even going to go outside yet. I'm going to just talk to you guys, and I'm going to talk to you guys about how to properly brand yourself, right? From my perspective, just don't get me wrong. My mindset is not the only mindset. My strategies is not the only strategy, but I'm gonna welcome you more into business, bitch. Welcome, come on. Let's just take this walk together. And and this webinar is going to be free. I'm gonna teach you how to put them business clothes on. I'm gonna teach you how to put your clothes on. And once we do that, I'm gonna help you create a very specific strategy to get to the first. I'm not even going to say the first. I'm not even going to underestimate because y'all already getting it. Okay? Y'all already getting it. But I'm going to give you a strategy to get to the next bag. How about that? Okay? I'm going to help you get to the next bag. And then we're going to do it again. Listen. I'm your the only, okay, business bitch that you need. That's what we're doing. So I'm all about producing results, right? And every day, every minute, every hour, results at the results at the result. I don't stop, and I'm not. Join us on Monday. I'm hosting a absolute free webinar on branding and strategy. Then we're going to get to the marketing. Because like I said, you got to put the clothes on first, right? You got to get out the bed. You got to put the clothes on, right? And then we got to figure out that strategy. We're going to figure out that strategy. And then I'm going to show y'all how to go outside. That's the marketing part. All right. I love y'all. I got to go. I got a meeting at 7:45. And then I got to hop on and talk to my dreamers at 8. I love you. DM me. Focus to tap in on Monday for the free webinar for branding and strategy.